A production of Flint Energies, your local touch-tone energy cooperative. Front Porch Chats brings you along while we share interesting events, places to go, important programs, and hidden gems located in Central and Southwest Georgia. Grab a glass of iced tea while we chat for a spell. Hi, I'm your host, Natalie Bradley, and today I am here with Miss Joanne Hamlin, Marion McLemore, and Heather Nipper, and we are going to talk all about the Flint Energies Foundation. If you are a teacher, if you are a firefighter, a police officer, you're part of a club or an organization or any kind of place at a school or just trying to do something better for your community, where you work, you really want to make sure that you tune in and you listen today, because we're going to give you lots of great information on how you can get a grant that could really be transformative for what you're doing. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
I'm going to let each of these wonderful women introduce themselves and what their role is with our foundation so that you can get to know each of them a little bit better before we really jump in. So Miss Joanne, let's start with you. What is it that you do with the foundation?
I am the chairman of the foundation, which is a very honorable spot, and we're privileged to serve.
That's fantastic. And you've been on it for a minute.
Since the beginning, in 2001.
2001. That's a long time, and we're very grateful for you. Heather, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Heather Nipper. I do more the administrative side for the foundation. I work in executive services for Flint, so that allows me to help with the foundation.
You do all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, we kind of screen through the applications and get them ready for the foundation to review, and then schedule the appointments for them to come in and make their presentations for their grant requests.
So Heather and her team make everything seem really easy.
Yes,
they iron it all out.
Thank goodness for my team.
And Marion, how about you?
I'm Marion McLemore. I'm Vice President of Cooperative Communications at Flint, and it's my job to help promote the foundation and all the good work that they do in our communities.
Fantastic. So why don't we talk about, to start us off, what exactly is the foundation and how is it separate from Flint Energies?
Of course. The Flint Energies Foundation is a state-chartered nonprofit 501c3 organization. It's the philanthropic arm of Flint Energies, and it is the sort of the brains behind our Operation Roundup program. Operation Roundup is a program where our members can round up their electric bill, their Flint Energies bill, to the nearest dollar, and then we take that change and combine it with all the other Flint members who volunteer to round up. And then we take all those collections, all those donations, and give it to the foundation. And the foundation then awards grants to charitable organizations and entities throughout our service territory, our 17 county service territory.
And we do those awards every other month, right?
Correct.
Okay. You would think I would know this because I take the pictures and write the press releases. But so there's a lot of different hands that are in everything that we do here. And it's really neat to see how many organizations and groups come through here every single time. Since 2001, how many grants have been awarded from the foundation?
They have given out in grants the amount of $10,421,946.
So over $10 million
Yes.
since 2001. And I mean, that's a lot of change that comes together. And it's kind of like, what is power in numbers, like the multiplier, with it all coming together. And it makes me think about, like, when I was little, I had a single mom and we would like pull together our change from the sofa and we'd go watch a movie together. And that was our treat. And that's how we had our extra money, because we didn't have a lot. But this is on a much, much larger scale. But that's
a great
really,
that's a great analogy.
It's really exciting. I mean, you think about it. And I'm a Flint member and I'm a part of Operation Roundup. And we're going to let Miss Joanne tell you in a minute why you should be a volunteer, not a volunteer, why you should enroll in the program for Operation Roundup, because it really does make a difference, obviously, with over $10 million in less than 30 years going out into these communities.
Yeah, I just want to mention, just this year, we've given out over $1.6 million just
That's
this year alone.
incredible.
Mhm. And one of the cool things is that no one member will ever give more than $11.88 a year. On average, a member who participates in Operation Roundup only gives about $6 a year. So take that $1.6 million and divide it by 6 on average. I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah. Okay. What are some of the highlights of Foundation? What are some of the things that y'all would like to talk about? Maybe it was a favorite presentation that you had, or a standout, or an organization that just really kind of got to you and you thought, yes, we've got to fund this.
Well, since 2001, and we understand that we've given $10 million out, I'm kind of standing in awe because I was part of all of that. I was here for everyone. And if you think of those that were outstanding, I don't know, they're all outstanding. And I think that's the beauty of what we do with coming in and visiting with the applicants, is that we hear their story. And everybody has a story to tell. We cry, we laugh, but we listen, and our hearts feel what they're opening up to us about. And then we have the privilege of helping. And there's no greater reward than that. And we owe Flint and you that are out there in the community that honor. And we do take it as an honor and a privilege to serve you on this board. But when we look at the ladies that do the United in Pink, and they for breast cancer, we all shed tears of what they're doing in the gift packages that they do, the schools, the kids that can't afford to buy the uniforms. All those things that we can do make Operation Roundup what it is. And we encourage you to get involved. They've told you that a little bit's going to cost you, but $10 million is a lot of money that goes back into every community, not just one that's Flint serves, but every community. You receive dollars from this. So it's just an easy way to make a difference in your community and make a difference in a lot of people's lives.
And a lot of times people will stop us on the street and say, so to speak, I don't know if I'm enrolled in Operation Roundup. So how do they know if they're enrolled or not?
Your utilities bill will tell you that pretty much. So Marion was saying a few minutes ago that you're going to have a $0 in your bill, but you can call the membership representatives at Flint, and very quickly they can tell you, and very quickly they can sign you up to share in this great event, this great endeavor that Flint has undertaken, and that's making such a difference in communities.
And I think one of the reasons why it seems like it goes so much farther is because, all the coins essentially that come together, it goes straight into the communities. You're not having to cover expensive administrative costs or anything like that. It goes straight out into the communities where you live, and that's
correct. All the board members of Operation Roundup volunteer. I mean, we give all of our time to come and listen to these applicants, and we take it with a great emphasis on that we listen and that we do what's correct. We investigate if there's something we question. The money is used wisely, and I promise you that it just makes so much difference in lives, in communities, and schools. I can't believe how many schools we help fund, and things that are going to schools that they don't have funding. Even in your government, there are things that we have to help fund. So it's just, I wish we could share with you all the experiences that we've had, but I can't, except to tell you it's rewarding, and you have a part in it if you are an Operation Roundup member.
One of the cool things is that as a person, you want to give to so many different charitable organizations, but as one person, you might not financially can do that or physically do that. But with Operation Roundup, you're taking just a few cents per month and combining it with other members' cents, their spare change, and you're able, as a collective, all these members collectively are benefiting all these kinds of organizations in our communities. It's, you're able to spread the love around, even though your portion may be less than $12 a year or even $6 a year. There's such a greatness in the numbers of members participating in this, and how much of an impact we have on multiple charitable organizations. We couldn't do it without everyone that's doing it.
Well, what I like about it too is like as an individual, I don't know who to donate to throughout the years. Like I may get requests from certain organizations, hey, will you donate? Well, I don't know much about the organization. I don't know if they're legit, if they're not. But with the foundation, those 11 directors, they come together 6 times a year. They vet all these applicants. They interview these applicants from these organizations, and they are strategically putting that money back in the communities where it goes. And I like to know that I'm a part of that.
That's a good point. It's vetted. You don't have to worry about, is your money being used for what they're saying it needs to be used for. It's being, the work's being done.
They're being great stewards of the members' money.
That's a really
absolutely.
And we appreciate you, the community, you, the members that allow us to do this. It's like I said, it's an honor to be able to serve in this capacity as a volunteer. I volunteer in so many other directions in my life, but I think this is probably one of the most rewarding things that you get to do, that you see things.
And we live in such a fast-paced environment now. It's easier to just say, hey, round my bill up and use that money towards donating and helping my community than me having, stop, write a check, donate money somewhere.
And you don't miss it.
Yeah, I don't ever miss it. But I will say too, over the years that I've been involved, I've only been involved since 2010, Miss Joanne. I ain't been here as long as you, but the participation among our members has went down over the years. Right now we're sitting at about 38% of our membership puts towards the cause, and I'd like to see that number jump. I really would.
Think about how much more we could do if we had more participation.
And there's a member of the board. They all represent your community. I don't think some of you probably know that. Your director nominates the person that's going to serve on this board. So you are represented in your community. It's not a chosen group. It's your board members direct who comes into this board that works here, that serves here.
Yeah, so they help to make sure that in their own communities, in their own backyards, as part of our 17 counties, that organizations, that schools, different people, they know that this even exists and they can go and apply. And it's the easiest application. I've seen a lot of grant applications that are really scary, and this is not scary. I mean, if you're doing what you're saying you're doing, it's very simple.
And with these representatives that you have, each one of them can, if we have a question about an applicant, it's in your community and they know them, they can request that we do or don't, or we need to investigate. So you have a part, you have a say in everything that's done.
That's what I was going to say. Each director kind of advocates for their community and those different organizations, and some of them, if an organization applies from a certain county, usually that director from that county will really step in and advocate for them. And I will say too, with the applications, I'm glad they do interviews, because when we receive applications, sometimes it may be questionable and we're like, I don't know about this organization, but then they come in and you hear from them and it's like, oh my goodness, tearjerker.
It's incredible.
Let's give them what they need.
That's what I was saying, their story. If we hear their story, many times our minds are changed or our thoughts go in another direction. So it's profitable for us to listen to each one that comes in and their needs.
And each director takes this job very seriously. It's a volunteer position, as Ms. Joanne said, but they take it very seriously. They want what's best for their communities and overall Flint's service territory. They have a love for the people.
They put their heart in it.
Yeah, they have a love for the people, and it shows by the grants that they award.
Well, and I know that a lot of times when we're just doing our job out in the communities and interacting with people, we all encounter different people who say, oh, we're having a really hard time getting funds for fill in the blank. Or we have students that are a part of our organization and they can't afford, like Miss Joanne said, uniforms or whatever that may be. And a lot of people, it's amazing to me. I mean, we've heard the amount of money, so that that's touched a lot of people in these 17 counties, but it's amazing to me how many people still don't know about the foundation grant opportunity. And we're recording this in November, and we just had our presentation this morning for recipients this round, and the Methodist Home for Children and Youth were one of the recipients today. And I heard a presentation from one of the pastors there at the Talbot County Lions Club. I think it was last May, and they desperately needed funding for a lot of these kids are foster kids, and children that, have some serious needs, and they had no idea about this program. And just letting people know, because a lot of times they'll come to us for sponsorships, and we just cannot sponsor $5,000 for everything that people need. And it's nice to be able to say, but what we can do is you can apply for this grant. And it was so good to see them today and just see that they followed through, after hearing about all the good that they do. And they've got children that are from all these rural counties that we serve, even though they're located in Columbus and in Macon. They actually have a number that are spread out throughout our territory. And that was just very heartwarming to hear their story and then to see them today. So
yes, Flint has a corporate sponsorship budget, which is very limited because we have to spread it across 17 counties, and we have to do it equitably. So a lot of times when Flint does receive a sponsorship request, if we're unable to do that through the corporate sponsorship budget, we automatically refer them to the foundation for a grant. And more times than not, the grants are approved because they meet a need in the community that is there and needs to be funded. And we are thankful from the Flint corporate side that we have this foundation that can fulfill the needs that we can't meet.
There are a few requirements for the application process, and we kind of put those out there on the application. Like, we ask that they have a 501c3 and they show that award letter. Also, we want to see their most recent financials, usually for a year's worth of financials, to make sure they're being good stewards of their money.
now, if they're in a school, if they're like a club or an organization, then they wouldn't have a 501c3 certificate, but they're able to show proof that they're part of that school system.
That's correct.
So
That's
don't
right.
don't be dissuaded by that.
We can't pay. So the foundation has in their bylaws that we cannot pay for
Individuals.
general operating expenses or utilities for any organization.
And we don't do individual requests, like individual member couldn't come in and request funds from the foundation. Volunteer fire departments, things like that can come in and request funds.
And this presentation is to let you know we're here. I think, as we said before, that a lot of people don't know about Operation Roundup. And if you're listening to this or you see this, we encourage you, if you know there's a need in your community, call Flint, call over here to Heather Nipper, or call anywhere at Flint. They'll put you in the right direction. But we want to be there for you. So we're available. The monies are here, and we want to share it with you, with your needs. So we just ask you to call us and let us know that there's a need there in the application. You can find them easy. It's easy to do. So the money's available to help you. And we want to hear your story.
If you go on the website, it's flintenergies.com. I'm going to actually put this in the show notes, a direct link. But if you go to flintenergies.com, under community, you'll see Operation Roundup, and the foundation grant is under there. You just download that application, you can print it, and it's very, very straightforward. Did you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to add that I was very proud of the fact that the foundation was able to do the large initiatives the last 3 years. I think that was a huge help.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
Okay.
Do y'all want to start with 3 years ago?
Sure. The first year it was $10,000 to each law enforcement.
Law enforcement, city and county.
Yes, that was a total of $250,000.
And then in 2023, we did the fire departments and firefighters.
Another $250,000.
City, county. And then this year, we did $605,000 to teachers in every school that's in your service area.
And when we were doing Bright Ideas Brigade, taking grants to our teachers last week, we had several that said, oh, guess what we're using our morale money for from foundation. And they were so excited to tell us. Like, one school said that they were getting like Christmas socks or something for their teachers, and having like a hot chocolate party and just different things. But they were encouraged to do it to boost morale and, just help teachers who work so hard day in and day out, and the staff at the school just feel good about working there. And it's always so rewarding. Like Miss Joanne said, when we go out in the community and then you hear and they tell us, oh, guess what? We want y'all to know, this is how it's impacting us. And it's not your money, but it's the fact that you are working with or for an organization that does so much good and impacts so many people in so many positive ways. That's a really good feeling. You can go home.
And I round up my bills, so when I see stuff like
Me
that,
too.
I'm part of that.
Me too.
I help do that.
Yes, small change that changes lives. You mentioned Bright Ideas. That has been long funded by the foundation since 2006. That's our Teachers Grants program that we award grants to teachers for creative and innovative lesson plans. And we've been doing that since 2006. And we just gave out $25,000 in the last week or so. And that's boosting education. You know, that's one of our areas of focus is definitely education. And we love loving on our teachers. We love loving on our students. And that's just one way that we do that.
And walking into their classrooms and the teachers get excited, but then the kids are just, yeah, like one of them, you know, a kid was like, she won $50,000. And we were like, well, not quite, but, you know, but it feels like that to a bunch of 5-year-olds jumping up and down in the room. And it's just a lot of excitement. And the teachers, you can just see their extreme love for what they do. And that is just really exciting to see. So we've heard some really big numbers of what we've been doing recently. So what does that look like when you look back over the years, Miss Joanne? You said you've been a part of it since day one. Mm-hmm. So what did it look like in 2001 compared to 2024, the end of 2024?
Well, in 2001, we were brand new, mm-hmm. and most people did not know about Operation Roundup. So there was not the funding available then, and then we didn't have the applicants. But as time went on, the news spread, and we got more and more and more applications for the grant. And thank goodness we've had the money to fund because people have supported the program. But now we're bigger and better, I guess is what we say. We can touch more lives. We can do more work for communities of what they need. I was thinking about something that we do a lot of is after school education. A lot of kids that don't have chances they don't do well in school, and they've got all of these programs that are trying to help them. We fund so many of those, and I think every parent can relate to that. Extra help with kids that you just don't know what to make them go into society and be profitable to the community. So lots of that. We do a lot of rehabilitation with drugs and those kind of things. And it's grown, I guess, to today, I think we probably did, 20 probably?
15 to 20.
15 to 20 applicants, and praise the Lord, we funded them all.
Back then, it was probably more like 5 than 9.
We always wondered in the beginning, a lot of times, whether or not we had the funding how much can we fund today? We did that a lot, and today we want to say, let's fund them all, and we have the funding at this point, but we want to do more and bigger. You know, there's never enough when you're trying to help your community. So we're just saying, we need you to help us. We need you to support us. It's not a big investment you're going to make, but I can promise you what you reap from it will be greater than anything you ever put in.
Call us today and round up your bill, because your small change will change lives.
Let's get
right
this
here in your
percentage
community.
Let's get those percentages up. You reckon we can get to 50%?
That would be awesome.
That would be great if we could get to 50% by the end of 2025.
I would love that.
That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you know, I think the knowledge and the importance of Operation Roundup is greater than it's ever been. I believe that. I know when we first started, it was just a new program. But now, you know, you're in Operation Roundup. Most people know what it is. Like when we have the applicants that come in out here, they say, oh, yeah, we've already got our sign up, or we've already, you know, you're part of our program because of the things that you've done. So I think the awareness of the program has helped us as much as anything. Oh, yeah. And the financial group that just gave us, you know, the extra money because they believe in us. People support things they believe in.
Absolutely.
And I believe that people understand now that Operation Roundup benefits you. It's not about us.
Yeah.
It's about you, the community.
And one of the things, if you're already donating, contributing to Operation Roundup, we also have Operation Roundup Plus, where you can designate an extra amount added to your bill to go to the foundation to award more grants. So, and you can give, you know, an extra $1 a month or $5 or whatever you'd like to do. You can add that to your Flint Energies bill, and that money will go straight to the foundation to do more good.
And if you are already rounding up, tell your neighbor, make sure they're rounding up too. Because the one thing, a lot of our membership, we don't speak to.
Your family, most of the time the family is
they don't call in unless you're having a billing problem or maybe a delinquent or something like that. So a lot of our membership we don't get to speak with every month. And so we have no way to push it to them personally. So maybe they can hear it from some of our listeners.
It's really exciting to be a part of something way bigger than yourself, and especially when it's less than $8 a year, less than 12 for sure.
Less than
Yes.
$11.88 a year.
$11.88 at the absolute most.
$11.88 a
And
year.
how many people can say that they gave $11.88 in 1 year, and they were part of
Over $1 million.
giving over $1 million? That's quite an ROI right there.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I like it. Small hinges open big doors. So let's get a bigger door and a lot more hinges.
Yes.
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 All right. Thank you, ladies. We really appreciate it, and keep up the amazing work with the foundation.
Thank you, Natalie. For
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, we need your help. Please give us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to this podcast. It really does help us get this information out to more people about what's going on in Central and Southwest Georgia. Also, share this podcast on social media with your friends and family, because it helps get more eyes and ears on what we have going on in our fabulous communities. Thank you.